Maya Thompson leaned against the worn kitchen counter, eyeing the last remnants of her grocery run, a solitary can of beans and a half-empty bag of rice. The faint scent of the evening's cooking lingered in the air, but tonight, it wasn't the mouth-watering aroma that dictated her mood. Instead, all she could think about was the stack of recent bills looming like shadows over her tightly wound life. As a single mother juggling 2 part-time jobs, a barista by day and a grocery store clerk by night, every penny felt like a drop in a thirsty well, never quite enough to quench the endless demands of single parenthood. Maya's heart fluttered with both love and worry as she peered into the other room, where her 6-year-old daughter, Chloe, sat cross-legged on the floor, engrossed in a worn storybook. Her bright, curly hair framed her cherubic face, and she giggled softly at the familiar tale of a courageous rabbit. That laughter was a lifeline, a reminder of the light she vowed to protect at all costs. But as much as she wanted to immerse her daughter in a world of endless possibility, financial burdens weighed heavily on her conscience. Each choice Maya made for Chloe was marked by sacrifice, a constant balancing act between ensuring her future and providing for the present. Determined not to let her misgivings cloud the evening, Maya took a deep breath and placed the bag of rice on the countertop. "Hey, sweetie. How about we make some rice and beans together tonight?" Chloe's face lit up, the anticipation of a homemade meal sparking joy in her bright eyes. Maya smiled, grateful for the simplest moments, yet inside, her heart an ache. They both deserved the world, and here she was, fabulously out of touch with it. After a hurried dinner that consisted of the last of the rice and beans, Maya popped the last can from the cupboard. It truly was their final meal of the week. She stirred the pot with nervous energy, her mind wandering, reflecting on everything she longed to provide. But as she poured the simmering rice into their mismatched plates, a knock at the door interrupted her thoughts. Curiosity piqued, Maya wiped her hands on her apron and opened the door. Standing on the small stoop was a little boy, no older than 7, dressed in a tattered hoodie with bare feet. His starved frame and hollow cheeks tugged at her heartstrings. "Hi, ma'am," he stammered, and Maya noticed the way his voice trembled, caught between pride and vulnerability. I was wondering if I could get something to eat." The world around them fell silent. Maya's heart sank, recognizing a reflection of her own struggles in the boy's pleading eyes. She had enough to fill 2 plates on the table, but in that instant, it felt radically different. How could she deny him? Despite the frantic chorus of doubt rattling in her chest, a warmth unfurled within her, a familiar impulse to help, a thread woven tightly into the fabric of who she was. "Come in, sweetheart," she said, peering aside to let him enter their modest apartment. "I'm making rice and beans. There's plenty to go around." The boy hesitated for a moment, perhaps surprised by her willingness, before stepping inside. Chloe looked up, her innocent gaze shifting from her meal to the newcomer. "Hi. I'm Chloe," she exclaimed, a welcoming smile lighting up her face. The boy's lips curled into a shy grin, a flicker of happiness breaking the clouds of despair that had settled over him. As they gathered around the small table, Maya served the boy a plate, watching as he dug into the food hungrily, almost as if it were a feast. She tucked her own worries away, feeling a rush of catharsis in sharing her last meal. "Thank you," he mumbled between bites, eyes wide with surprise and gratitude. "I was really hungry." Maya offered him a warm smile, sensing a kinship forming in that small room, forged from their shared hardships. "We can always share. There's more than enough love here for 2." The words easily, more than just responses to what she saw. They were reflections of her soul, filled with hope and a wish for better days ahead. In that moment, as she observed Chloe and the boy laughing and trading stories about their favorite cartoons, something inside her shifted. For the first time in weeks, she felt a flicker of possibility uncoil within her. Despite the looming bills and uncertainty, kindness had opened a door to a world rich with connection. The rumbling of her empty pockets faded into the background, replaced by the pure echoes of love and laughter that surrounded them. With every shared laugh and bite, connecting them through something far more profound than food, Maya understood that this small act, sharing their last meal with a hungry child, might be the pivotal moment to redefine her family's narrative. It was no longer just about survival, it was a gentle foundation laid for hopeful tomorrows, fostering community when there was none. As the three of them shared dinner, the atmosphere lightened, laughter replacing the weight of worry in Maya's heart. The boy, Oliver, revealed that he had moved with his single father to the neighborhood just a few weeks earlier. They had been trying to get back on their feet after losing everything to a fire that destroyed their home. A striking parallel to Maya's life, enough to make her grin and draw her closer to this young companion, who seemed to share every ounce of her struggles yet wore them with resilience. "I lost my favorite toy in the fire," Oliver confessed, a glimmer of sadness momentarily dimming his eyes as he shoved another mouthful of rice and beans into his mouth. Maya instantly felt that deep pang of empathy, her heart clenching. "But my dad says we'll get past this." Sure enough, Chloe chimed in, her voice bright and innocent. "My mom always says that after rain, the sun shines brighter." Her sweetness seemed to lift the weight from the living room, chase the shadows away, and instill a sea of warmth that rippled through the air. "That's a good way to look at it," Oliver nodded, visibly cheered by Chloe's perspective. As he glanced at Maya, he added tentatively, "I miss him sometimes. It's just me and Dad now, and he's been working a lot." In those moments, the burden of their personal struggles seemed to diminish, revealing instead the budding friendship sown between the edges of their pain. Unspoken camaraderie formed a bridge over the invisible chasm that separated their lives, their stories interlacing like the fibers of a strong fabric, reminding Maya of the strength found in connection. Meanwhile, Maya felt the spark of some unfathomable magic in just sharing a meal, an odd notion that perhaps this act of kindness could transform their lives in ways she had yet to discover. After dinner, as Oliver finished his plate, a clattering sound came from the living room window. The three of them turned to see an older gentleman, Mr. Harrison, their landlord, peering through the glass. He waved awkwardly, sheepishly stepping inside as Maya opened the door. "Good evening," he greeted, his voice cheerful, though it carried the weight of his years. "I couldn't help but notice the laughter coming from here. It's always heartening to see smiles during tough times." Maya felt her stomach tighten slightly. "We were just sharing a meal," she admitted. "This is Oliver, a new friend." The man's weathered face softened as he looked at the boy, then at Maya. "Well, I have to tell you, I've been meaning to come by anyway. You've made quite the impression on this neighborhood since you moved here, you know. Your kindness, your smile, it has a ripple effect, young lady," he said, gesturing broadly, as if to emphasize the invisible strands connecting everyone together. Maya's cheeks flushed, flattered yet apprehensive, him bearing witness to their meager supper. "I just try to do what I can," she replied, looking at Oliver and Chloe with fondness. Mr. On continued, "Well, my wife recently passed, and I find myself with more household goods than I know what to do with, things I no longer need. I'd love to donate a truck full of items. I know it'd help you out tremendously. After all, I can't let my old things go to waste." Maya's heart skipped a beat. "That's incredibly generous, but are you sure?" she asked, swallowing hard. He nodded, a smile dancing on his lips. "Absolutely. I'm not doing this for recognition, just to ensure that those possessions go to good homes," he winked. "You seem like a deserving person, especially with the spirit I've seen here. And perhaps with a little luck, some of the furniture can give Oliver here a more comfortable resting place, not to mention give a nice uplift to your own living conditions." Tears welled in Maya's eyes. It was beyond mere furniture, it was a lifeline, a chance to provide her daughter and Oliver something that they could truly call their own. "Thank you," she whispered, observing both families intertwining in a moment of fate, a converging path. The next few weeks turned into a spectacle of gratitude. Oliver became a cherished fixture in Maya's household, he and Chloe played games, giggled, and together began reassembling the resilient pieces of their lives. Mr. Harrison arrived on the scheduled day with a larger trailer than Maya anticipated. It overflowed with sofas, tables, a full set of dishes, bedding, and toys for both children. Her heart swelled, recognizing the utmost importance of generosity in restoring hope, transforming their shared space and lives. The moment she laid eyes on a cozy blue couch, a gift both comfortable and inviting, Maya felt a dream coming to fruition. A sense of belonging nestled where sorrow once roamed. The children bounced with excitement at the new toys, their innocent laughter filling every corner of their transformed home. However, the most incredible ripple effect of her kind act was yet to unfold. One after dinner had settled, Maya found herself exhausted yet triumphantly sifting through the paperwork scattered across her small desk, bills and unpaid notices marking her path. It was nearly midnight when she found a letter tucked away in an envelope from a local charity she had applied to months ago, explaining they were offering single mothers financial assistance for educational programs. With trembling fingers, Maya opened it. She gasped, tears streaming down her cheeks as she absorbed the words. They were granting her $1,500 to enroll in a local community college course focused on business management, an opportunity that could provide her a stable career, transforming her dreams and future for both her and Chloe. The overwhelming sensation of the unexpected blessing settled over her like a warm blanket. Words escaped her lips in whispers. "Oh my God, thank you, thank you." She had needed this and hadn't expected anything after sharing her last meal. Upon sharing the noosh, Oliver and Chloe, they squealed in delight, Chloe beaming up at her mother as though Maya had just handed her the moon. "That's amazing, Mommy. You're gonna be a boss." Oliver's eyes reflected sheer admiration, making Maya feel empowered. Over time, she enrolled in the courses, juggled her jobs, and took care of the children, feeling that perhaps they had formed an unbreakable bond, a family of resilience drawn together through shared experiences. With every lecture, every study session in their vibrant living room filled with new furniture and joyous laughter, she felt herself becoming this new version of herself, a more confident, resolute woman. Financial strain slowly ebbed, softly weaving their lives together in an exquisite tapestry of hope and determination. Encouraged by her education and the connections made through kindness, Maya's confidence opened doors. She received job offers from companies that factored in her educational pursuits, awarding her role as an assistant at a local nonprofit, aligning perfectly with her newfound studies. The joy of newfound financial security was incomprehensible. Maya used her first paycheck not just to stabilize their household, but to ensure Oliver's father was supported through the struggles that heading toward a new beginning entailed. Ultimately, through every trial, their choice to extend kindness to each other formed an unwavering strength where shadows of despair once loomed. Maya realized the unbelievably beautiful, transformative power of connection, and her life, her very existence, was no longer marked by scarcity, transformed instead into a narrative filled with warmth, blessings, and the unwavering promise of brighter tomorrows. Now, as Maya tucked Chloe in bed with Oliver slumbering just a few feet away, she felt fulfilled. Hope reverberated through her heart, a rhythm affirming the truth that kindness breeds kindness, and in that circle of light, abundance could thrive once more. Maya Thompson stood by the kitchen window, the morning sun illuminating the fresh blooms in the small patch of garden she had tended to diligently. It felt like just yesterday that her life had been steeped in shadows, the uncertainty of paying bills and the weight of loneliness almost suffocating her. But now, as she took a sip of her warm coffee, she felt an undeniable sense of hope blooming within her, just as the flowers outside began to unfurl their petals. The new beginnings that had unfolded in the past several months felt vibrant and alive, marking a transformative shift not only in her financial circumstances but also in her emotional landscape. It was early May, and the sun streamed through the window, warming her skin, invigorating her spirit. Chloe and Oliver were playing in the other room, their laughter spilling through the halls. They had quickly become an inseparable trio, exploring the depths of childhood joys together. Each day had become a newfound adventure, where Maya found comfort in their shared laughter and immense growth in their companionship, drawing her deeper into an uncharted territory of healing and love. Turning away from the beautiful scene outside, she stepped into the living room. There, on the plush blue couch, laid the remnants of their weekend plans. Several coloring books and markers sprawled across the coffee table testified to the creative chaos they had embraced the day before. Maya felt a swell of pride as she watched Chloe and Oliver drawing dinosaurs and rainbows, their imaginations running wild, much like her own dreams for a brighter and more secure future. "Hey, you two," Maya called out, catching their attention. "How about we take a little break for breakfast? I made pancakes." Chloe's eyes lit up, and she leapt from her seat, leading Oliver like a miniature tornado into the kitchen. Maya could hardly contain her laughter, their exuberance filled the space with joy. Together, they whipped up a breakfast fit for the air fragrant with the sweet scent of syrup and warm pancakes. As they settled at the table, Maya looked at the two children, both beaming with delight over their meal. You know, Maya began, as she poured some syrup over her plate, I couldn't have imagined all of this 6 months ago. Life felt so heavy back then. But you guys, you've turned everything around for me. Us? Oliver echoed, his eyes widening. But you're the one who helped us. You gave me food when I was hungry. Maya nodded, humbled. Exactly. It's amazing how one small act of kindness can blossom into something so beautiful. Chloe chimed in, her eyes sparkling, and now we get to be friends. You're like my family now, Oliver. That simple proclamation tugged at Maya's heart, reminding her that when you give love, it multiplies in ways you least expect. The bond created between them was a testament to the power of compassion. Her willingness to share a meal had ignited a chain reaction of positive change that had deeply intertwined their lives. With full bellies and happy hearts, the children scampered off to play again while Maya turned her attention to preparing for class. She was nearing the end of her business management course, and with every assignment and presentation, she felt a new wave of confidence washing over her. Studying late into the night had become a routine, and cherishing the late-night quiet while Chloe and Oliver slept was a luxury she had come to treasure. Days slipped into weeks, and Maya's life continued to flourish. Mr. Harrison's generosity had opened doors beyond the material gifts. Soon after the donations, word began to spread through the community about the successful yard sale orchestrated by Maya. With the help of the non-profit organization she'd landed a position with, they connected her with local businesses willing to provide small grants and financial literacy workshops to single parents. Before long, Maya was not only managing Harris but also empowering other women in similar circumstances. She found herself at the forefront of a movement, the beacon for other single mothers navigating the treacherous tides of hardship. Together, with a small team of dedicated advocates, she established a program that offered scholarships and mentorship to help women in the neighborhood pursue their educational goals in the hopes of securing better lives for their families. One afternoon, while preparing for a community meeting at the local library, Mia reflected on the chain of events her life had taken since opening her door to Oliver. It struck her, each act of kindness often carried immeasurable outcomes, a ripple effect that expanded outward, touching lives far beyond what she had initially envisaged. However, it was essential to give back, to return the love and support she had received. Finally, the day of the annual community gathering arrived. Confidence coursed through Maya as she strapped her leather messenger bag her shoulder, mulled over her notes, and prepared her opening speech. As she entered the buzzing room filled with familiar faces from the neighborhood, she felt a comforting sense of belonging wash over her. The once fractured fragments of her life had knitted together seamlessly. Spotting Oliver and Chloe near the snack table, deep in conversation with new friends, Maya's heart swelled with love for the life they had built together. She greeted guests and welcomed new participants with open arms, feeling a profound sense of gratitude for how far they had come since that fateful day when she shared her last meal. When it was finally her turn to speak, Maya took a deep breath and stepped to the podium. Welcome, everyone. I want to begin by thanking each of you for being here today and for being part of this amazing community. It feels like a dream to stand here and share our journey. When I opened my door to a hungry child just a few months ago, I had no idea how many lives that'll touch, including my own. Her voice wavered slightly as she glanced at Oliver. You see, that one act of kindness ignited a spark. It has woven connections, formed friendships, and opened opportunities. We all hold the power to uplift one another, to support, nurture, and create new beginnings. As Maya continued to speak about the new scholarship initiative they were launching, she felt the room transition into a sea of understanding and camaraderie. She spoke passionately about unity and the importance of lending a hand when one was struggling. A powerful hush enveloped the space, with attendees nodding in agreement. Many were inspired to join in the efforts. Once the meeting ended, participants gathered in small groups, and Maya overheard snippets of conversations radiating with excitement. They spoke of plans, ideas, and dreams ignited by a simple notion of hope. Later that evening, as Maya returned home, she found Chloe and Oliver sprawled across the living room floor, oaring together. They turned and squealed, "Mommy! We made you a surprise." Maya joined them, curiosity sparking within her. A surprise? What is it? Chloe held up a colorful card with an outlandish drawing of Maya as a superhero, complete with a cape and bright red boots. Scrawled at the bottom were the words, "Thanks for being our hero." Oliver shuffled closer, proudly owning his part in the artsy tribute. Maya felt an overwhelming rush of love fill her heart as she wrapped her arms around both children, their warmth engulfing her. "You are both my heroes. You remind me daily of what's essential in life: kindness, friendship, and love." In that moment of shared joy, Maya understood that the true gift she had received was not just the transformation of her financial standing but the profound relationships she had cultivated through her ripple of kindness. Her spirits soared, illuminating the knowledge that kindness indeed perpetuates more kindness. As the weeks turned to, Maya's life opened into a beautiful tapestry woven of support, community empowerment, and boundless gratitude. Each step she took resonated with purpose. Maya realized that every meal shared, every new friendship formed, and every note of encouragement could plant seeds of hope that flourished amidst adversity. And so, as she tucked her children into bed that night, she whispered a silent thank you into the universe. She understood that the journey ahead was still uncertain, but together, with her newfound family, they were ready to forge ahead, heartened by the belief that no act of kindness is ever too small. United, they formed an unshakable bond, creating a world where hope and possibility intertwined beautifully and endlessly.